All right, the August 14, 2024 meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is now called to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Members, if you would please make sure your mics are on. Make sure you have a red light or a green light. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chair and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'll ask all persons who expect to give testimony this evening to stand and be sworn by the clerk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Okay. As per usual, we will be taking cases out of order this evening. Although the first case we hear, 0309, will be the first case. 0581 has been pulled from the agenda. Case number 2 will be 2322. Case number 3 will be 2298. Case number 4 will be 3010, and then we'll go back and finish what we've missed from the beginning. The ex parte communications. At this time, I would ask the board members if they've had any ex parte communications regarding any matters coming before the Code Enforcement Board this evening. If you've had verbal communications, please disclose the sum and substance of the communications, when and where the communications occurred, and with whom it occurred. If you received any written communications, please disclose the nature of the communications and provide a copy to the city clerk to be filed in the record. Starting to?
No, Chair, none.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I've had none.
Thank you. Approval of the meeting minutes. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review the July 10th, 2024 meeting minutes. If there's no edits, corrections, or changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second? Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. First case, please, 240309.
Okay, case number 240309, City vs. Judith Ann Williams, for the property located at 521 Courtney Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-860, Inox outdoor storage equipment, Section 8-10213B, exterior walls maintained in good condition, and Section 8-10213C, roof maintained in good repair. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on January the 24th, 2024. My inspection revealed 2 inoperative vehicles one with an expired registration, another with no tag, parked or stored at the residence. The exterior walls surrounding the structure were stained with mildew, and the fascia and soffit surrounding the home was in disrepair. At this time, I left 2 door hangers with a reinspection date of the 24th of April, 2024. Mr. Chairman, on January the 24th, 2024, Mr. McKenna spoke with me and Code Administrative Assistant Tina Heacock at City Hall concerning the violations just issued at his residence. Mr. McKenna explained he had many things going on and needed additional time to bring the property into compliance. An additional month was granted until the 25th of May, 2024. My reinspection on May the 29th, 2024 noted no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of the 28th of July, 2024. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door, and I requested copies be mailed, both certified and first-class mail, to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. Mr. Chairman, Mr. McKenna and Ms. Williams have both reached out to me personally by phone call, by voicemail, starting back in on January the 24th, April the 9th, May 23rd, May the 31st, July the 15th, August 2nd, July the 13th. They have been in constant communication with regards to correcting the violations on the property. They're advising they are trying to secure a contractor for the job and that the automotive covers have been acquired for the 2 inoperative vehicles at the residence. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on May the 29th, 2024, showing the violations.
We'll accept those. Thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows an inoperative vehicle parked stored under the carport with an expired registration. Exhibit number 3 shows an inoperative vehicle parked or stored on driveway of the residence. Exhibit number 4 shows front wall staining. Exhibit 5 shows west side wall stains. Exhibit 6 shows the front fascia soffit in disrepair. Exhibit 7 shows the south side deteriorated fascia and wall staining. Exhibit number 8 shows the north side fascia in disrepair. Exhibit 9 shows front soffit in disrepair. As of today's date, the 2 inoperative vehicles at the residence are now covered with automotive covers. The fascia and the soffit surrounding the structure has been replaced. At this time, I would like to submit an affidavit of compliance for sections 12-860 and 8-102, subsection 13, subsection C. However, the remaining 1 minimum housing code violation, exterior walls, 8-102, 13B, is still out of compliance, and I am seeking a ruling. May I submit, sir?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
So you got 2 of the violations taken care of.
Yes, sir.
And the outdoors, can you explain a little bit more about the outdoor storage? What do they have?
It's 2 inoperative vehicles, sir. One without a tag and one with an expired registration. They have bought automotive covers, not tarps. They acquired the automotive covers, and those have been put on the vehicle, which brings those vehicles into compliance. So that is taken care of, as well as the fascia and soffit surrounding the home were both in disrepair. That has now been corrected as well.
And then the only thing that's left is the walls.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
walls, the staining of the wall. But
Yes, sir.
It says outdoor, so which code is that?
12-860 is the inoperative vehicles.
Oh, okay.
So it's outdoor storage, that's now in compliance. 8-102-13C is also in compliance, that's the roof, that's the fascia.
Yes, sir.
So the only one that's not in compliance is 8-102-13B, which is the exterior wall.
Exterior walls, okay, I see.
That is correct, sir.
It's got staining, needs painting or pressure washing?
I'm thinking that it's probably going to need both. I'm not sure when the home was painted the last time. I believe there's already some a little bit little bit peeling in spots. Definitely not trying to make anybody paint, without giving it the old Gipper try for the pressure washing. If that, takes care of the violation, then wonderful, sir. But I don't believe that it will. I think that it is, in my opinion, in seeing the walls, that it's most likely going to have to be painted to be brought into compliance.
Thank you, Lord.
Any other questions for the code officer?
You mentioned that, that you've been in constant contact with them.
Yes, ma'am.
So have they mentioned,
Sound. Your mic.
oh, okay. So, you mentioned that you've been in contact with them. Have they mentioned anything about when they plan to take care of the walls?
Well,
Stains?
honestly, Ms. D'Angelo, the residents are here
Oh,
this
okay.
evening, would like to come up and address the board. So that may be a question maybe that they may answer, or you could possibly ask when they get to the podium.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the code officer?
Ms. Smith, can you remind us which exhibit is still out of compliance? We had a great big stack there.
Sure, the ones, actually, there's one more, I'm sorry, I forgot another one.
Okay.
Here is exhibit number 9.
Does this has been corrected, though?
Yes, ma'am, the fascia and the soffit has been, it's the exterior wall staining, if you could,
The 13B,
it's the wall staining
5 or
that
6, I
is
think.
out of compliance.
yeah.
Okay, so it's exhibit 4, exhibit 4, 5, sir, exhibit 4, exhibit 5, exhibit 6, you can see it on the
If you
wall.
can, yeah, if you can, Tom. It's already up there? Okay.
Thank you.
4, 5, 6, sir, 7, you can definitely see it. 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Great.
Would
Thank
definitely
you.
show it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
So 4, 5, 6, and 7, and they were, if you missed it here, do you need to see these again?
No, I got to see them up here. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the code officer? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Did the respondents want to come up and say anything? State your name and address for us, please.
Raymond John McKenna, my wife Judith McKenna, yeah.
Your address?
521 Courtney Drive.
Perfect, thank you. Floor is yours.
Well, we're senior citizens and we run into a bale of what you call problems and stuff like that. My wife had 2 what do you call knee replacements, and I'm on my 2nd arthritis, what do you call hip replacement. So this month and next month we'll be under operation. Okay, so we're 81 and 83 and stuff like that. But we will be able to, we just need some time and logically some money. We never realize in our spend what it calls for the contractors now to come out and to go ahead and fix the things and stuff like that. I mean, it's, paint's $40 a gallon. I mean, I'm looking and going, my God. So we're running in a little bit into finance and stuff like that. But if we can get what they call 60 days, we should have it done before that. All right, and then we'll come right back here and stand up and right in front of you and tell you we got it done and everything else like that. It needs to be, she's been on the ball. She's done her job fine. She's been great to work with and everything else like that. And we know we got to get this done and that done, and so we're eating at it as it goes down the path and stuff like that.
Have you determined whether or not you will have to repaint, or is pressure washing going to take care of it?
Well, it's going to have to be scraped too, because the paint is peeling.
Okay.
So it's going to have to be scraped. They're going to have to come in and scrape. At least I want them to do that, to do a better job. So they got to come in and scrape it. Then it's got to be pressure washed. Then it's got to have a sealing on it, so for the mold and stuff like that, And then a regular, what they call 2 coats of paint on it and stuff like that. We've already started to try and get a contractor to come and do it. If I was feeling good, I would do it myself, or at least get some help and stuff like that. None of our relatives are there, or our children are around. They're all gone, all 5 of them. So it's just us here now and stuff like that. We enjoy Temple Terrace and everything like that. We have no problem here. She's lived here her whole life, and I lived up in Land O'Lakes for a while. And then we got married 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Yes. Don't laugh, it's not funny, okay? I fell in love and I said, will you marry me? And she said yes, and she's now 81, excuse me, and I'm 83, so.
Congratulations.
We can hold it up, so, but we're working together as a team, but all kidding aside, what do you call it, the team is fading, it's still faded because what do you call it, we have tremendous pain, and they literally have to, they took out the one hip, and we're waiting on the other one. We have 2 appointments to get it, the doctors get it all done and stuff like that. So at least I can observe what they're doing. I don't want to get them on my house and start this or that and not be able to check it out and stuff like that. So that's what we're looking at, and we appreciate your help. We came here because what do you call, we feel that we can get it done fairly and in good shape and everything like that. So we appreciate your time and effort and everything like that.
Thank you. Any
Okay?
questions?
This has been exciting because I don't, I've never been to a board, so
You think,
I kind of,
think 60
a night out, I mean, and now I got to take it to dinner. I mean, give me a break, guys. Everything I do costs me money, all right? I'm sorry, I don't mean to make a joke of this.
okay.
This is not a joke to me, okay?
You understand.
My wife, if she has anything to say, I'm sure she'll say something for sure, okay? She keeps me on track right around the wire. And the other young lady's done a great job, and she shows up, all the time. It's her job, and, we've gone through it. We put the covers up on the cars and everything. The one car, what do you call, has been given to us because a friend of ours died. Literally gave us the car, not to get it to her grandchildren, to her children. You think we could find them? We can't find them. So we go to the motor vehicle place and say, we got a car for this or that. We can't do that. So we're stuck with the car there. There's nothing, we don't know what to do with it. So they're looking, trying to find the people, and so now it stands out. So it looks like, we got a bunch of cars laying out there, but it's out of our power. I put it into what it goes storage for 6 months, it's $200 a month just to put it in there. So I put it back out there, and now we got them covered up and everything else like that. So we should be in pretty good shape. Temple Terrace has been good to us and everything like that, and the place looks neat and everything like that. So we want to have our house just as good and maybe better. Okay, that's all I got to say. Thank you very much for your time.
Don't sit down just yet. It might be-
Okay.
Any questions? Go ahead.
60 days will be good for you?
It's going to have to be, I guess. I can't.
I don't want to give you 30 days and have you come back again here.
I'd like to always have a little more time, because once we get operated on, I'm laid up. I can't do nothing. Okay, and God bless what he called, her knees are doing pretty good now with the 2 knee replacements. We don't have any problems, and we've got to be careful too, because you go get out there, even look at it, and you walk in the grass like that, and next thing you know, we did it once, and the fire department had to come out and get me up, and he said, "Don't do that again, Ray." I said, "Yes, okay." So we can't even run around and look. But we got a little angel here. She comes back out. You got to go over that side and look over here. I said, "Okay." So I pushed the thing all the ways out in the grass and look and everything else like that. But she's been a real help. Okay. So we feel comfortable with it.
So you can have a seat. Thank you. You can sit down.
Thank you.
I had a question for code enforcement.
Okay.
Bill's got a, Mr.
Yeah,
Snelling.
for you.
No, for
Oh.
For code
Code
enforcement.
enforcement.
What am I doing?
You're sitting.
Whenever you're done with it.
Make sure you got back over here and.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to add something to this case. We had offered volunteer groups to assist them with the painting. They refused or declined the volunteer.
Okay.
Just want to make that noted.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that was part of my, if I'm good to go.
If you still have additional
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah, so Lori, you said that they've been cooperative in getting the other 2 violations
Yes, sir.
resolved. And just wanted to know, you and Tom, if you guys are okay with this, with a 60-day deadline for them to get this work done.
Record's okay, sir. In speaking to the respondents, I believe that that they would need that. 30 days, sir. I don't think that they're going to be able to make that with the gentleman's surgery coming up and things that are happening. It's going to be kind of rough.
Okay.
If the board would be so gracious, maybe to allow a 60-day, I believe that they could get this done with the last violation.
Thank
They
you.
will get it done.
Any other questions? Thank you, Lori.
Yes, sir.
If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll I'll do it.
And then, don't forget, it's a combined,
Yes, yes, I did. It's this one. Yeah, the combined, yeah.
I'll be listening.
Yeah, I am. In case number 240309, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 521 Courtney Drive, with the applicable code violation section 12-60 and section 8 dash,
Stop you right there before you get too far into it.
yes,
12-860.
12-860, section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection B, and section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection C. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along other witnesses, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violations, all of which received and entered as part of this record of this hearing. The record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine for the imposed violation of Code Section 12-860 and Section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection C, because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing. I further move that the remaining violations be corrected on or before
October 9th.
October 9th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day violation continue past the date of the compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator. I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So, just so you understand, you've found guilty on 3 different violations, but you've brought 2 of them into compliance before tonight's meeting. So you have 1 outstanding violation, which is the walls, basically, and you know that. So you've got until October 9th to get that taken care of. If for some reason you can't get it taken care of, your contractor quits on you, never shows up, whatever, you can come back to us on October 9th and ask for a continuance. There is no guarantee you will get one, but you have the right to ask for one, okay? Hopefully it all works out and everything gets taken care of before then, okay? Any questions? All right, thank you. Thanks for coming in, appreciate it. Thank you. Next case, please.
Okay, next case, we're skipping over to case number 24-2322, City versus Technology Development Consultant.
You can stay or you can go, it's up to you.
No.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Case number 24-2322, City versus Technology Development Consultants, LLC, for the property located at 207 Woodbine Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-28A1, permit application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
They canceled it on us. They canceled on us, so now you have to.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by Community Development on May 22nd, 2024 for a red tag posted at the site for interior renovation, plumbing, and electric work being done without a permit. I generated a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of May 28th, 2024. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on July 16th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing on that date, and the case was scheduled for the August Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on May 22nd, 2024, and screenshots of the various stop work orders.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the notice of violation posting, and exhibits 2 through 4 show the various stop work orders on a screenshot. At this time, the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking the ruling.
Very good. Any questions for the code officer?
Did we discuss how many permits were,
Well, there's at least 2, plumbing and electrical.
Plumbing and electrical.
Is there a third?
Interior renovation, plumbing, and electric.
So there's 3
oh,
total.
okay, so there's 3.
Any contact with the property owner?
I did get a call earlier this week asking if they could get it postponed from the agenda, and I said it was too late for that to occur, so. But I do believe a representative from them is here tonight to probably address any questions you may have.
Any other questions for the code officer? You said the respondents are here?
Yes, sir. I believe both of those gentlemen
Come
are.
on up and state your name and address for the record. It's up to you. If you're both going to speak, come on up, give us your name and address, and
So Jonathan Burley, general contractor. Do you want my home address or do you want the address I'm representing?
why don't you give us the address you're representing and state that?
Okay, the address I'm representing is 207 Woodbine Avenue.
And you're the general contractor.
I'm general contractor,
Okay.
yes. I was just hired by this week to help them get it all cleaned up. So prior to this, I can't address anything. I was by the property. We have a plumber and electrician. I should be able to have the permits completed by Friday and put in
Yeah, the application's complete.
the applications.
Okay,
Now, how long that takes to get it approved, I don't know.
okay,
But I could at least have it submitted this week.
okay,
Once it's approved, we probably need about 60 to 75 days to complete.
okay. And
And-
just so you understand, and so the respondent understands, the violation is not the work itself, the violation is the absence of the permit.
Correct.
So once the permit is obtained, then that's considered compliance,
Okay.
okay?
So like I said, I should have it submitted this week, and hopefully they approve it pretty quickly.
Okay.
Are there any architectural,
When I
reviews required? Any architectural reviews required? I'm directing it kind of to
Whoever.
both parties.
I did talk to Dallas in the building department, and they didn't say that any plans were needed.
Okay,
But that's why I say it's like, if they are needed, it may take me a couple days to get that.
okay.
So most of the time on a bathroom remodel, they just want to see a floor plan.
Yeah.
So that can be done pretty quickly.
So permit-wise, you should be done in 30 days is plenty of time for you to get the permits
Oh, yeah.
done. Okay.
Any other questions for the respondent? Did you want to add anything? Okay. All right. If there's no other, you can have a seat, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll get back into the swing of things. here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go, Bill.
All right, so in case number 24-2322, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 207 Woodbine Avenue. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Doug Allen and Mr. Burley, I believe was his name, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and a notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before September 11th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion carries. Okay, so you've been found in violation. You've been given until September 11th to get the permits, essentially. If for any reason you have not obtained the permits by September 11th, at least the respondent needs to come back to us. He can bring you if he wants, but he has to show up and let us know the reason why. And at that point, he can ask for a continuance or an extension, rather. Again, no guarantee you'll get one, but he has every right to ask for one. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
Okay, next case, we're gonna go to 24-2298, City of Shelby Winkler and Samuel Crawford for the property located at 6320 East 113th Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-508 accessory structures, uses. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Director Tom Baroni. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. This case this evening originated on May 20th, 2024, when I observed an 11-foot structure that was constructed right next to the side yard fence without the setback requirement. Our code states that a structure of 11 feet in height requires a setback of 5 feet off the property line. On May 21st, 2024, I spoke with Shelby Winkler to advise her of our code ordinance that requires a setback requirement off the property line. On June 11th, 2024, Samuel Crawford called me to discuss the structure and why he installed the mesh to prevent the basketball from going over the fence to the neighbor's yard. My inspection on July 9th, 2024, noted no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared and hand-delivered to Shelby Winkler with a compliance date of July 23rd, 2024. My compliance inspection noted no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence. Exhibit number 1 shows the structure next to the property line fence without the setback requirement. I'd like to submit it this
So
time.
we'll accept that. Thank you. Can you go back to that? Just want
I
to
think
make
we're
sure.
trying to zoom in.
Is that a wall?
Where'd it go?
It's the green,
Huh?
I don't know where it
What I want
went.
to confirm is
It's the one
that,
yeah,
is
that
that,
wall?
is that green,
it's the green.
Yes, green mesh.
green mesh? Okay.
That's extended past the 6-foot fence on the
Is that a
side.
wall? What kind of material is that? Just like a
It's a mesh.
fence?
It's a screening.
Just screening the air?
Well, the gentleman's here, the property
Oh,
owner, you could ask him that question.
Okay.
But it's a screening to me, and it's considered a structure.
Okay.
So the violation is it's too close to the fence? Is-
Because of the height of it, it's too, it doesn't meet the setback
It needs a 5-foot setback
From the
because of the height of the structure.
from the
It
property
needs
line.
a 5-foot.
From the
So-
property line?
Right, so every foot over 11 feet, you gotta go another foot back. So if it was 12 feet in height, you would need a 6-foot setback.
I see.
And you're, I don't know, have you even looked, have you even looked in the backyard as far as the location of the goal, the basketball goal? I assume it's a basketball court and a goal. As far as this, is the fence placed so that it's off the court and, do you
I'm
know?
not sure of your question, Bill, but I'm just saying,
Well,
the
it's,
structure that was,
yeah, I got the violation,
okay, but it's along with the side fence.
right,
That's in 6 feet in height.
right.
So it's 5 feet above the 6-foot fence.
Yeah, I understand the violation. I was just
I'm not
curious
sure
as
where the
to,
basketball hoop
as
is.
to whether they, if this, you know, if it's possible for them to easily move this. But I guess we'll find out whenever they,
Or question, would they have other options? Because I have kids, preventing basketballs from going over would be nice.
Let's,
The only other option is,
in the future, guys, let's wait to be recognized before we ask the question.
the only other option would be to move that screening 5 foot from the property line. And that's,
Okay.
there's a setback requirement.
Again, Tom, is it in the back of the property or the front of the property?
It's in the side yard.
The side
Side
yard.
yard, okay.
Right.
Any other questions for the code officer? Did the respondent want to say anything?
Sir?
Name and address, please.
Shelby Winkler.
Samuel Crawford, 6320 East 113th Avenue, Double Terrace.
Let me make sure. Are you getting that in the booth? Okay. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you guys for having us. So we brought some pictures if we can. But you guys have, we didn't realize you guys were gonna have pictures, but we can just show them that way. You guys.
Yeah, sure, if you like. You want to see him first, Ernie? Okay.
Yes. So we we put this up because we installed a basketball hoop there. The neighbors also play on it. We're friendly with the neighbors. It was, we found out it was the neighbors behind us that we thought would not be able to see it because the way the trees are, the Eureka palms that we have, they kind of block it from their house. But we found out they could see it when they walk out. They have like 150-foot setback to there because we have like overhead power lines. And we found out when they're like walking in the yard, they do like once or twice a day with the dogs, that when they're walking out there, they can see it clearly when they walk out to the corner, the back corner of their yard. Yeah, go ahead.
You say they can see the screen is what you're talking about.
No, so they can't see it from their house, but they have a huge yard.
Right.
Because of a setback that we have with a power line going in between us. So when they're out walking in the yard, so we never even thought to ask them. We've only, we discussed it with our neighbor next to us that you can, in the picture, you can see the backside of it. But from the people that complained that weren't happy, we resolved it with them now. But from their side, we never thought to talk to them about it before we did it because we didn't think they would be able to see it.
Okay.
But they can see it when they're out walking in the yard, but from the house, they just haven't been able to see it. So it took them a little bit of a while, I think, to notice it was there. Another thing was that like Tico came through and cleared out a bunch of trees, and that kind of opened up the area. Unfortunately, we were very, very thankful to be able to keep one of our trees. We really had to beg and work that out with Tico. We were fortunate, but they took out a lot of trees, so it opened up a lot of space. But our neighbors next to us, they like to hit the golf ball. I like to hit the golf ball on my side, so we're always having stuff going back and forth in between each other's yards. Then when we had the basketball hoop, we said, hey, come use it any time. But our basketball was constantly, the air ball just bounces and goes over the fence. So this was kind of a, I guess,
Solution.
a aesthetic solution to kind of solve that instead of putting like an ugly net up or like a screen up. This is like I have an outdoor company. This is a thing that we use in South Tampa for privacy. And it's like a gray area where it's not considered a fence or a wall because you're just using posts and you secure it to the post, like with zip ties. And the air can flow through it, so it's not like a wind issue or anything like that. The wind flows through. So I didn't think it was going to be an issue. And then, I'm not trying to compare, but in South Tampa, it's like 3 foot is there, and I didn't realize here it's 5 foot for accessory structures, even though I didn't realize it was an accessory structure. So I did the 3 foot. It looks really close to the fence because the neighbor's fence before we bought the house is like a foot or a foot and a half on our property line. We found out, and so we talked to them about that, and we're like, we're not going to replace it, and they're just going to only do the fence in the front and leave the wood fences down the side. But that's why it looks like it's close to the property line, but their fence is actually over like a foot or foot and a half.
Onto our property line.
Yeah.
So you would have, in order to comply, you would have to be 4 feet off the fence, which would
So in
make
order
it
to
5 feet.
comply, we'd have to be probably another 3 feet off the fence,
Okay.
which can be done. It's just a lot of stuff would happen for that to be done. And then the money is the other thing. Like, it costs probably about like 10 grand to do this, and it probably costs us another 6 grand to do that. I mean, it seems like a lot, but like to us, like I was a basketball player, so like having like a nice backyard, and I do a lot of stuff for people in South Tampa, so I've always wanted.
But you could move it. If money, let's putting money
if
aside.
money wasn't an option, yes, it could be done.
Okay.
It would just, it could definitely be done. It'd just be a big thing.
Do we define structure?
Yeah.
Like, because that, I mean, like if it's posts and like a mesh thing, does that fit?
A fence is considered a structure, so just think of that. So it's a vertical fence.
Here's the front side.
Like a barrier of any sort is considered a fence?
Yeah.
You did it yourself?
Yeah, so my company, so we do this for people in South Tampa, and it's a gray area where down there they don't require a permit because they don't consider it a structure or an accessory structure or anything like that. But still, to be safe down there, we still usually try to keep it off at least 3 feet off the.
I see it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I see it's like trees, and it's got like
It's got a
shrubs.
nice feel to it.
But the bottom line is if you had to move it, you could.
Yes, but we've talked with the neighbors behind us and resolved it, and the neighbors next to us, like, we've talked to them about the option of, everybody loves our palms in the neighborhood. We have nice, mature Eureka palms, and they look great lit up at night. So we've talked to the neighbor next to us. They're okay with it because their father across the street wants us to install. Someone said, hey, when we're installing them across the street, we can install them in your backyard to kind of block this, and that way when the neighbor behind us is walking their yard, they won't be able to see it, or any of the neighbors further down won't be able to see it either.
I don't think, that even if all the neighbors were okay with it, it's still a violation, correct?
That's correct.
The thing is, I wanted to ask, I don't know if, I saw him in early, and who do we ask? Can he get a variance instead of going through the?
No, you would have to show a hardship, and what would be the hardship?
Hardship is the money.
Well, some money that.
Will that be their argument, not ours?
Well,
The hardship would be the.
I'm just thinking loud.
It was created by putting it up in the wrong spot, so.
Yeah. How far, how short is he of that too?
2 feet.
Thank you, though.
2 feet.
And I think we're technically a foot over, I mean, that might be a solution. We could come down a foot to 10 foot. That would still help us in the situation with the ball going back and forth, but, and we still would do the, no matter what we do, we're still gonna do the trees regardless, because it's nice, because we're also staring into his glass room where his office is, so that was another part of it. So no matter what, we're gonna help him out and do the trees, and then so the neighbor's always fine with it. But I don't know if that is a solution, but that would be our next step, yes, is we talked with them about trying to do a hardship. They said, oh, it's $500, but to us, $500 a lot better than $6,000 to try to present our case again.
You know, the question just goes back. He is right now, he said his neighbors too, his fence is on his property. So are we considering it 5 foot from his original property?
It's 5 feet from the property line. They understand that
Yeah.
it's 1 foot off the property line. They would still think they would have to move it back approximately 3
It's
feet.
gonna have to be moved one
So
way.
it still has to be moved. Or the height of it has to come down so that where it's at is okay.
It'd be about 2 feet is what it would have to be moved to be in compliance, I think, yeah.
And whether it's 2 feet or 20 feet, it's
Yeah,
still
no, I know
$6,000, right?
Yeah.
Or you gotta cut, I don't know, 4 feet off the top of it, I guess, right?
No, just a foot. It's 11, and if he comes to 10, it should be good.
Yeah, and still costs us money, and labor probably costs us a half day, so, but regardless, if that's what, I mean, that would be a much better solution than moving it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I had a
go ahead.
I'm sure you've already thought of this, but I know they make for basketball goals, they make nets that catch the ball underneath the goal. Is that something that you?
Oh, yeah.
This is
I've-
for
I've been-
outside.
I've been wanting to get one of those, but it's also their son is like really into golf next door, and I
it's for golf
chip
balls,
too.
too.
So a lot of times the golf balls are going back. We have like outdoor furniture and like little those little patio fireplace things. It's not like a real fireplace, but it has glass on it, so there's a chance that like chipping in each other's yards, we're gonna break each other's window or something eventually.
Oh, so
It helps with that.
it's not just basketball. It's
No, it's golf and
Yeah,
yeah.
combination of between their children and then
Yeah.
Sam in the backyard.
You're not shooting clays, sporting clays over there.
No, no.
Ernie.
Nothing like that.
Just a quick question. I didn't hear everything because I was talking, but there was a mention of 10 foot. Why is there a thought of bringing it down to 10 foot?
Because
Changes the-
it changes the setback when you bring
So
the height of it down.
setback-
From anything up to 11 foot, you have to have a 5-foot
Right.
setback because
Right,
it's a
that's correct.
structure.
Okay, so,
So even like a shed.
Yeah, I don't
you
want
have
anybody to have a
5-foot
misunderstanding.
setback.
okay, so that's not, so lowering is probably not an option.
Yeah, lowering.
Our last, I think, thing was just, and maybe that would be part of the hardship, part of the variance part was kind of arguing the case that this isn't an because in the city of Tampa, they don't consider it as something like a accessory structure or something that needs to be permitted, is that it's a post with like basically a mesh. It's there's no wind resistance from, like there is some, I mean, it's mesh, but it's not like a solid structure. So that's
I understand that, and you are welcome to go down that route if you like.
I'd rather not have to, obviously.
Well,
spend the
I
extra
don't
money
think you'd
to
be
have
very
to.
successful.
I have one
The
more
hard-
question.
Hang on a second. You create the hardship by putting it up to begin with. So you just need to take that into account when you decide if you want to go. You're certainly welcome to fill out the paperwork and go down that route. Yes,
And also with hardship, realize it's a hardship that's related to the land. Can't be like related to the people or, the ability of playing basketball.
Yeah.
If you leave, that hardship's, gone. It always has to be related to the land.
Okay, yeah.
So that's gonna be the hard part for you on a variance.
Yeah, okay.
There was no required permit on this structure?
No.
I think if it's a structure, shouldn't be permitted? Even putting a shed in backyard, you need a
well, that's
permit.
not true either. I mean, depending on the size of the shed,
On the size of the shed.
You know-
Okay, so this could be a really stupid question. But is it possible to like, and I don't know whether it would even work, but to like put it up when you need it and take it down when you don't?
Unfortunately not, no.
Okay.
Just the way it's secured, unfortunately not. It takes like hours,
Okay.
like more than a day of time to, because they're individual panels that are like, it's like green. They put them in like restaurants and
Like a
nice
greenery
places. They're
wall.
greenery panels and they attach to each other, they clip into each other.
Oh.
And then they make a bigger panel and you can secure it to a post.
Okay, but anyway, let me remind the board that our role is not to find the solution for them. It's to determine whether or not a violation has occurred. If there's are there any other questions for the respondents? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
I could, one last thing, I guess it
Go ahead.
would be, it's just, is there a way to like determine if this does fall into a gray area and this isn't a code thing with it being post with mesh? Because
Ernie?
I've got the definition of structure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I asked.
Anything constructed or erected, installed, or portable with a fixed location. And you said these were cemented into the ground?
Yeah, the post. Yeah.
Fixed location on the ground or attached to something having a fixed location on the ground, the use of which requires a location on a parcel of land. And it goes a little further on, but I'll let you read it though, when you get a chance.
That's why I asked.
But again, Ernie does not say where is the thread line?
It's concrete.
Because if it was permitted, they would have found out about the setback.
Right, because it's concreted into the ground, it's considered a permanent structure.
If it was something
He's
that
asking
could
about-
No,
set up.
I'm asking about permit, not the permanent
He
structure.
should have been permitted.
Yeah. I think should have been permitted, structures like
That's
that.
a separate issue, that's
Yeah.
not for us to determine.
Well, yeah, but they could have prevented them
official
from
is
putting it
here.
up.
So again,
Yeah.
it's not for us, that's a separate issue, it's not for us to determine. Our goal is to determine whether or not, based on the facts presented to you this evening, whether or not a violation of the city ordinance has occurred.
So would we, when do we like try to figure out that issue? Is that like, do we have to do the hardship to figure that part out? That's what we're wondering, because it's essentially like people putting posts in so they can run those string lights in their backyard. When do we, if that doesn't get decided here or addressed here, is that something that we have to pay the $500 to be able to do, which I know it's not a hardship or whatever.
I don't know what the $500 is. Is that the application fee for the?
That's the application fee.
Okay. Yeah, so, Ernie, correct me if I'm wrong, you basically will have three options. We will be determining whether or not tonight whether or not a violation of the city code has occurred, okay? Assuming that we decide that it has, you will have two options after that, okay? You can pay the $500 and go try to get your hardship through the Board of Adjustment, okay? I don't know when they meet next. You can do whatever you think you can do to take it down, fix it, remove it, move it back, whatever you gotta do, or you can remove it altogether. I guess the other option is you could get a lawyer and sue us, okay? But tonight, we will be determining whether or not a violation of the city code occurred.
So then technically what you're saying is that you guys are deciding right now if this is
Violation.
something that is code related, and if it
Yes.
if it's considered, basically if it's considered an accessory structure.
But you still, even if we decide that there is a violation of the city code, that will not preclude you from going in front of the Board of Adjustment to get a waiver to the setback for whatever reason, and that's what you would need. You would need a waiver to the.
$500 thing?
Yes, the $500 thing. You would need to get a waiver to the setback through the Board of Adjustment. And again, I'm not telling you you're gonna be successful,
No, I know you can't make it.
but that would be your next option, I would think.
Yeah, okay.
Or, find a way to make it a temporary structure without all the concrete and being able to, take it up and down like a shutter. But our goal, again, our mission is always whether or not, based on the facts presented to us this evening, whether or not a violation of the city code has occurred. Yes, sir.
And if I can just say, We have the building official right here, and he's double checking the definition of structure. He would be the one that would make the determination of whether it needed a permit or not. So, I mean, he's right here and he's
Well, either
available to testify
it's,
that whether or not it's a
well,
structure.
I don't, well, you know, he can come up and testify whether it needs a structure. The whole idea of whether or not it needs a permit, I think, is neither here nor there.
No, but if it's
But
not
I
a
think-
structure, then we wouldn't argue about it.
Yeah, if it's not a structure, then yeah. So,
Then we would be able to avoid the $500.
yeah. Come on up,
I think what helped these guys know what.
state your name, please.
Alice Foss, the building official.
Okay,
By the
hang on, let me ask the question. In your professional opinion as the building inspector for the city, what is your title, I'm sorry?
Building official.
Building official, is this considered a structure?
By definition, yes.
Okay,
It comes underneath a fence, and fences come underneath the structure. So it would come up as a structure.
thank you.
And is,
Go ahead.
yeah, I just was curious, is a building, would, in your opinion, would a building permit have been ever required for something like
The
this?
way the land development code reads, if it's less than 24 linear feet, as a replacement, yeah, but this is new, so yes, it would need a permit for being new. But if it was a replacement, it wouldn't. So this is a new item installed, so it does need a permit to be installed.
Okay.
Okay, so in addition to violating the setback, they should have got a permit. Aren't you glad you came tonight? Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Did you want to say anything else before we? Okay, all right. All right, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I got it.
Thank you.
In case number 24-2298, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 6320 East 113th Avenue. Section 12-508, accessory structures, uses. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from code enforcement officers and a lot of other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before September 11th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each day and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine to be $10 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
One nay, motion carries.
I said no.
Okay, yeah, one nay. Got it. So, you've been found in violation. If it's not remedied by September 11th, you have two choices. You can show up and request an extension. No guarantee you'll get one, but you can request one. You can make your case as to why you need it. Or the next day, $10 a day, fine occurs until it is remedied. As far as how to remedy it, that's not the purview of this particular board. You need to get with Tom and his folks to figure out a acceptable remedy to the situation. Okay? Thank you. You need them back?
Yeah, he needs his picture
Okay.
back.
I'm gonna need copies of them.
Okay, I'll tell you what, she'll make copies, and then can somebody let them know when they're ready to be picked up?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll get copies of them, and then we'll drop them back off. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, we need to take a quick break before we start the next case.
Okay.
5-minute recess?
5-minute recess.
Oh, okay.
Take off.
That's going to be case number 243010, City versus Jose Luis Miguel Hernandez for the property located at 102 Forest Park Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-921, parking residential property. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening once again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. Excuse me. This case was originated by me for a vehicle parked in the yard area on June 27th, 2024. As this was the fifth time in less than a year I had observed this violation, I went directly to a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of July 5th. I posted a notice at the site, and a notice was also posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on July 16th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing on that date, and the case was scheduled for the August Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by myself on June 27th, August 11th, July 15th, 2024.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation. Exhibit number 2 shows a vehicle parked in the yard. Exhibit number 3 shows a vehicle parked in the yard. Exhibit number 4 shows a vehicle parked in the yard. I've had no contact with the property owner, and at this time, the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
Very good. Any questions for the code
So
officer?
it's not in compliance? There's a,
Last night, there was a vehicle parked in the yard on my way home, and this morning there wasn't. But I mean, it's one of those things that comes and goes, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring it to the board.
you said you had observed this multiple times over the past few months.
Yeah, I've noticed at least 2 other times that I didn't take photos of it.
Okay.
And the last sighting was when?
Last night.
Last night. Any other questions for the code officer? You respond?
Any contact with the owners?
No, the property owner is here, and he is a Spanish-speaking gentleman, and he's brought his neighbor or friend, I'm not sure.
His neighbor.
Okay, his neighbor, and he's gonna act as an interpreter for him.
Okay.
So do we need to get him sworn in as the interpreter first? Okay, so if there's no other questions for the code officer, Doug, you can sit for the moment. If you both would please come up. And we're gonna have you, sir, sworn in as his interpreter first. Okay?
You raise your right hand. You hereby swear or affirm the translation you will make from Spanish to English and English to Spanish will be true and accurate.
Yes.
And he has already been sworn in at the beginning of the meeting?
Yeah, I think, so. Yeah, he was.
He was? Okay.
Yeah, he stood up.
Okay, so, I need somebody to,
Say his name and his address.
yes, sir.
Tienes que decir tu nombre y tu dirección.
José Luis Ismael Hernández, 102 Forest Park Avenue.
Translation?
José Luis Hernández, va Almaluega, Alba. I have a problem with his last name.
That's fine.
He lives at 102 Forest Park Avenue.
Very good, thank you. Tell him that this is now his time to say whatever he feels he needs to say.
Él dice que debes de contar cualquier cosa que tú quieras decir de lo que ha sucedido con tu situación.
Bueno, yo acabo de comprar la casa.
He said, I just finished buying the house.
Tuve que traerme al suegro por un problema de Alzheimer.
He goes, I had to bring my father-in-law to live with me because he's suffering de qué?
Alzheimer.
Alzheimer's. He's at the beginning stages of Alzheimer's. So he has that extra vehicle there.
Y no tengo, son 3 carros. No tengo dónde dejarlo porque la casa hace esquina.
He goes, I have 3 cars now because my situation and my house is in the corner. So I don't have a place to put the car, to store the extra car.
Tom, can you put that, one of those pictures back up?
Sure.
Ok, entonces,
Okay, thank you.
You could fit three vehicles in this driveway?
Yeah.
Okay.
pues él apenas puede caminar también, tiene problemas en los pies.
Because besides the Alzheimer's, he also has difficulty walking.
Entonces tenemos que mover mucho los carros en ese problema, porque cuando él llega apenas puede caminar, entonces se nos dificulta que el carro esté ahí.
Okay, because when he was driving and he would come over, we had to shuffle the cars around because he has difficulty walking also. But now, pero ahora está en tu casa.
Sí, sí, sí.
But now he's permanently in his house, in the house.
So let me ask him a question. So could he take his father's car or father-in-law's car, whoever it is, park that, and then park the two cars that go in and out behind it?
Dice que si tú puedes coger el carro de tu suegro, ponerlo primero y los otros dos carros detrás de él. Si los tienes que usar para tú poder salir y tu esposa salir.
Sí, sí, cómo no. Puedo
So,
hacerlo.
yeah, that he can do.
Okay, then
Sí.
why haven't, why
¿Y por qué no lo has hecho?
Porque el problema está que a veces llega y se pone en una en uno de los parqueos, y imagínate, y ya llego yo de noche o llego por la tarde o había un problema, ¿ves? Que yo no creía que iba a causar tanto problema
He goes,
con eso.
It's a problem when they shuffle the cars around because he comes in, he works late, so he comes in late, and when he comes in, someone moves the car out of sequence. So they park the car on the side. So when he comes in, he just parks because he's just getting home from work. And that's where the confusion and the turmoil arises.
I think he needs a better plan. Okay. Any other questions?
Not for these guys. I just was curious. I'm assuming this.
Hang on a
Okay,
second.
yeah.
Brad, you have a question for the
For him.
respondent? Go ahead.
Yes, and you can interpret that. And also, if Tom would agree, did he think about extending his driveway or adding gravel? The problem is parking on the grass, right? Adding gravel for where he can park his vehicle and can stay there.
Él dice que si tú has pensado añadirle a tu acceso del garaje con gravilla.
Oh, sí.
Yeah, he's thought about it, but ¿y por qué no lo has hecho?
Porque ahora mismo no tengo los medios para hacerlo.
Okay, he says, yeah, I've thought about doing a gravel side driveway, but right now, he just doesn't have the cash to do it.
Any other questions for the respondent? Okay, you guys can both sit down now.
Okay, then,
And who was your question for?
Oh, that was my question, basically.
Oh, okay.
It was the same question.
Okay,
just
so if
to
there's no
make
other,
sure
if
that
there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
when this motion's read, it's going to need to be interpreted. So do it in small blocks so that he has the opportunity to interpret what's
Okay.
going on.
And then we'll have to ask him if he understood at the end.
Exactly.
Okay. So whoever does it, just do it in small pieces.
I'll do it.
And then he'll interpret, and then you continue.
Yes. I'll
Okay?
try to be as slow as possible.
you're usually pretty slow, so
Yes.
that'll work.
That's good,
It'll
yeah,
work
right?
out, yeah.
And there's only one code
You ready, David?
violation, so.
Are we ready, David, for the?
I'm ready when you are, sir.
I am. In case number 243010, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following.
Ah,
Oh,
That's enough.
Lower, he's got to interpret.
yes. The following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property. Located at 102 Forest Park Avenue, with the code violation, Section 12-921, parking, 921. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement, Doug Allen, along, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of record of this hearing. All of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before September 11, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past that date of the compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none,
May I say something on his behalf? I mean, I'm his neighbor, and will he need a permit?
hang on. Let's-
Can you come up to the podium, sir?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Why don't you wait till after the vote, and
Oh,
then
okay.
I'll make an explanation. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them at
Okay,
that time.
it was just me. He hasn't asked me anything, but,
No, I understand. Just why don't you
oh, yeah.
hold that thought, okay?
I'll be quiet.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? No opposed? Motion carries. So he has been found in violation of the violation. The question of whether or not he'll need a permit, yes. If he
He will
wants,
need a permit for a gravel
Yes.
extension on the
yes,
driveway?
yes,
Okay.
okay?
And I'm not familiar with the parameters needed for a gravel driveway.
Okay, you can work that out with the code officers afterwards.
Okay,
Okay, they can tell you what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what materials you can use, what materials you can't use, okay?
okay,
But I do want to tell you that now that he has been found in violation, assuming he finds a way to maneuver his cars and get organized in the driveway, if it occurs again within how many days?
30 days.
Within 30 days, it's considered a repeat violation.
okay,
Once it's considered a repeat violation, the fines go way up.
okay.
So please let him know that.
I'll tell him that.
Please tell him right now.
Ellos dicen que después que se pase la autoridad, el tiempo que ellos te dieron para arreglar la violación, si ellos encuentran que tú no has atentado de resolver el problema, lo consideran una nueva violación y las multas van a subir. ¿Tú entiendes? Ok.
Okay, Can you ask him that that he's understood what just occurred, was
¿Tú
happening?
has entendido todo lo que ha sucedido aquí? Ya.
Pregúntale si yo puedo parquear de momento cuando llegue, puedo parquear al lado del buzón.
He wants to know if, when he goes home right now, if he can park on the street next to his mailbox. So as not to be in
As
violation.
long as he moves the vehicle within every 24 hours, that vehicle has to move.
Ok, dice sí que lo puedes parquear ahí en la calle frente a tu buzón, pero lo tienes que mover cada 24 horas.
You just can't store it there.
No.
Can't leave it
I'm talking, he's talking about his own car.
Oh,
When he
yeah.
uses to
Long
go to
as,
work.
if he goes home right now,
Yeah,
parks it on the street by the mailbox, and he gets up tomorrow morning to go to work,
to work, yeah.
then it's fine.
Dice que no tienes problema si tú parqueas tu carro frente al buzón como tú te vas a ir al trabajo, no tienes problema.
David, just one point for you. They also explained to him he has 1 month to do whatever.
He knows,
Yeah, I explained. Mine, 103 Forest Park.
We're gonna drop off a copy of the expanding this driveway.
Okay, good.
That'll to you.
Yeah, drop it to me and I'll
We'll take care
I'll
of it.
take it to him and I'll interpret it for him.
Okay.
That's a
Now,
good idea.
The last thing I want to explain to you is that you have until September 11th to get this taken care of, permit and work and everything else. If for some reason he can't have it all fixed by September 11th, the two of you need to come back in front of us and let us know why. At that point, you can ask for an extension. There is no guarantee you will get an extension, but you have every right to ask for one.
Dice que si tienes algún problema en no poder solucionar el arreglo antes de septiembre 11, puedes volver a venir aquí y pedir una extensión para que te den un poco de más tiempo para tú resolver el problema. No te garantiza que te lo van a dar, pero tienes el derecho de venir y pedirlo. Okay?
Ernie, anything I missed?
Just one thing, in addition, they were talking about the higher fine if it's seen parked
Right.
on the grass again. Also, kind of be aware that if they see it, he can be susceptible to a fine immediately with that upon observation, not a time to correct.
Right. Ellos dicen que si ellos ven que tú tienes algún carro parqueado en la grama, te pueden poner una multa ahí mismo, sin tener que ser una violación, porque ya tú has venido a esta reunión y ya te han dado la solución de cómo tú puedes solucionar tu caso. Así que no puedes parquear en la grama.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate you
thank you.
coming out, helping out.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, guys. I mean,
Thank you.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, guys.
Well, probably not so much for him.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, if I go that far.
Oh, well, I tell you what, things could be worse. Things could be worse.
It could be worse.
There's nothing worse than death, right? And as long as we're walking around and kicking, what the heck?
All right. Thank you very much. Next,
Thank you.
next case, please.
Have a good night.
Should be 241497.
Yes, I just wanted to confirm with everybody that we were pulling 24-0581. So that one's going to be pulled. So the next one is going to be 241497, City versus Ronaldo J. Kindred and Ashley Kindred for the property located at 7105 Gadsden Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-10213B, exterior walls maintained in good repair. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on April the 8th, 2024. My inspection revealed wood siding was stained and in disrepair on the front, east, and west side of the structure. In addition, the fascia surrounding the residence was stained with black mildew. At this time, I left a door hanger with the reinspection date of the 4th of June, 2024. My reinspection on June the 4th, 2024 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of the 14th of June, 2024. No one was at home, so I did post the notice letter at the front door, and I requested copies be mailed certified and first-class mailed to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation that was taken by me on April the 8th, 2024, showing the violations.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the front exterior wall, lack of maintenance. Exhibit number 3 shows the west side exterior wall exhibiting physical decay. Exhibit number 4 shows the east side exterior walls exhibiting physical decay. Mr. Chairman, on July the 24th, 2024, I gained service by hand delivery for the notice of hearing to Mr. Kindred. At this time, I observed the structure had been pressure washed and the green and black staining had been removed from all the exterior walls. However, the wood siding still showed physical decay. Mr. Kindred stated his work schedule was quite tedious and that he wasn't ignoring my notices, he had just been very, very busy. Mr. Kindred also said that he had enlisted the help of his uncle in Georgia to help him repair the structure. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling.
Okay. Any questions for the code officer?
And just curious, did he give any possible date when he might have the repair work done as far
Sir,
as?
he did not. And I really was hoping that he would be here this evening, even though I didn't think that he would. I expressed that he, if the board granted an extension of 30 days, that he definitely needed to come in on this next one. Give the board an update, so forth and so on, because if he doesn't show up, I can't predict how the board's gonna rule. That's not my decision, it's you guys's.
Any other questions for the code officer?
Yes. How many sections of the sodding? Just one area or all
It's
over?
the whole house.
The whole house need
the
to
whole
be
house.
redone?
Yes, sir, it's wood. We're in Florida. I mean, the wood
Termites.
is in physical decay.
Decay and...
And he hasn't given any update on, when
He didn't give me a timeline, when this was gonna happen. He said that he did enlist his uncle's help. My uncle lived in Georgia. I believe that he will do it, but again, I don't have a timeline that he stipulated. That was the first time that I'd ever spoken to the gentleman, was when I gained service on the NOH, the notice of hearing.
He's the owner of the house?
Yes, sir. He is the owner.
If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, hold on. And there's been no other work, there's been no work done at all?
No, they have pressure wash. They did try to do some pressure washing. The fascia was really stained up as well. That was another violation, but I did take that off
Okay.
and didn't keep it on when I requested the notice of hearing. So pressure washing was done on the structure, and it definitely alleviated the stain surrounding the structure on the fascia. Took off some of the green, the black staining, because there's a lot of oak trees, not only on his property, neighboring properties. So it had green staining on it. Definitely looks better as far as the pressure washing goes, but still, brass tacks, it's the wood siding that is in physical decay. You can definitely see that, unfortunately, it's deteriorating. It's wood.
If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll do this one.
Thank you.
It's out here. All right, in case number 24-1497, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 7105 Gadsden Drive. This motion, the applicable code section is 8-102, subsection 13, subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before, and I wish I could, if the person had been here, we would give them maybe a little more time, because this obviously is, that looks like there's a lot of repair work on the wood from what, yeah, so, however, they didn't show up, so I'm gonna say, September 11th, 2024, just to get their attention, and hopefully they'll come in and have a discussion with us at that point. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
It's case number 24-1751, City versus Weston Hagen, for the property located at 302 Springdale Place. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-861E6, fences, appearance, and Section 10-3B, sanitation, grass, weeds. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again, Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on April the 22nd, 2024. My inspection revealed the front side wooden fence in disrepair and overgrown grass and weeds on the site. At this time, I left 2 door hangers with the reinspection date of the 7th of May, 2024. My inspection on May the 7th, 2024 revealed no change, therefore notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of May 24th, 2024. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be mailed certified and first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. On the 5th of June, 2024, my inspection noted overgrown grass and weeds once again at the site. Since this violation occurred within the 45 days, I requested a hearing. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the violations taken by me on April the 22nd, 2024.
We'll accept those. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the front decorative wood fence in disrepair on the north side. Exhibit number 3 shows the south side wooden fence in disrepair. Exhibit number 4 and number 5 shows the south and the north side yard grass, weeds overgrown on the site. Mr. Chairman, on July the 25th, 2024, I posted the notice of hearing at the respondent's front door. I got a phone call later that same morning from Mr. Hagan, who stated the grass would be mowed and the front fence repaired. As of today's date, the site is now in compliance. I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm just seeking a finding.
Very good. We'll accept that.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I can do this one.
Okay.
In case number 24-1751, I move the city is proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 302 Springdale Place. Applicable codes 12-861 subsection E subsection 6 and 10-3 subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Next case is 24-1810, City versus BAF Assets 5 LLC, for the property located at 9901 Morris Glen Way. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 10-3B, sanitation, grass, weeds. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was initiated by me on April 24th, 2024 for overgrown conditions. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of April 29th, 2024. My reinspection on April 29th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of May 8th, 2024. I posted a copy of the notice of violation at the front door, and a copy was posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. 2 different property managers contacted me asking for an extension, which I granted of 1 week. My reinspection on July 16th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared on that date, and the case was scheduled for the August Municipal Code Board meeting. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on May 1st and July 16th, 2024.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows a copy of the posting of the notice of violation. Exhibit number 2 shows the overgrown conditions. The site now is a rental property, and it does appear that the tenants have moved out, so the site is vacant, if anybody is interested in that fact. But the site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling.
Very good. Any questions for the code officer?
It's not in compliance.
No, sir.
Any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 24-1810, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 9901 Morris Glen Way. And it is violation being section 10-3B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board received from Code Enforcement Officer Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before September 11th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 a day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Next case is 242568, City versus Reese Ann Von Hoff, for the property located at 423 South River Hills Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-860, in-ops outdoor storage equipment. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again, Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on June the 4th, 2024. My inspection revealed an inoperative vehicle with an expired registration parked/stored on the driveway of the residence. At this time, I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of the 25th of June, 2024. My inspection on July the 2nd, 2024 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of the 8th of July, 2024. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be mailed certified and first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on July the 2nd, 2024.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows an inoperative vehicle parked stored on the driveway of the residence. Exhibit number 3 shows the vehicle registration plate expired, which is the white vehicle in the second Exhibit 2. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling.
Very good. Any questions for the code officer?
Which, yeah, they kind of flash by fast. Which,
Yeah, they did.
It's the white vehicle.
That's why I included that picture, so you could see the vehicle, and the third picture is the tag. It was
oh, okay, I got you.
difficult to get it, but
It's not the one with the cover on it. It's
no, sir. There's already
Other-
one with the cover. This is the white Integra that's in the middle.
So our problem here is just the vehicles, not this trees and stuff.
Not yet.
yeah, give her time.
Now, The case that's in front of you is the white vehicle with an expired tag,
Yes.
which is the second vehicle in the driveway in this picture.
Did you talk to anybody or?
No, sir, I was not contacted at all.
All right,
There's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 24-2568, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 423 River Hills Drive, with the applicable code violation 12-860, an operative vehicle. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation, of all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before September 11, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
Okay, before we go to getting a second, what Rod read was 423 River Hills Drive. The site of the violation on my piece of paper says 423 South River Hills Avenue. Oh, to be Drive, okay. Rod got it right, okay. So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. Believe we have one more case. Next case.
Okay. Next case is 242858, City vs. Lonnie Mark Hammonds for the property located at 414 Park Ridge Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1, permit application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening once again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by Community Development on June 20th, 2024 for a red tag posted at the site for building, electrical, and plumbing work being done without a permit. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of June 24th, 2024. My reinspection on July 3rd showed no change, so I prepared a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of July 9th. I posted a copy at the residence, and a copy was posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed both certified and regular mail to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on July 16th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared on that date, and the case was scheduled for the August Municipal Code Board meeting. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on July 3rd and screenshots of the various stop work orders.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation. Exhibits, I think there's only 4 now, 2, 3, and 4, show the various stop work orders for the building, electric, and plumbing. A permit package has been submitted. It has finished plan review and is now waiting for pickup.
Oh, very good.
So it's not quite in compliance, so I can't give you an affidavit of compliance.
Not quite, but it's in process.
All they gotta do is come pick it up and pay for it.
Okay. But as of this hearing, it's not in compliance.
That's correct, sir.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Just one, and the stop work orders were complied with, there was no issue.
Well, once the permit's obtained, then that,
No, but he's saying, is there any work currently ongoing?
no, sir.
Okay, okay.
There's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll do this one. All right, so in case number 24-2858, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code existed on the property located, or exists on the property located at 414 Park Ridge Avenue, code violation section 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before September 11th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. That completes our new business, on to unfinished.
Okay, unfinished business. Case number 236292, City vs. Chelsea Jenkins for the property located at 7510 Gadsden Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. That one came into compliance. That one came into compliance. We
In
do have a
compliance?
compliance for that one.
Okay, very good.
At case number 24-0787, City vs. Walden Green for the property located at 8505 Wakula Drive. The deadline for compliance was July 10th, 2024. An affidavit of non-compliance was submitted by Officer Lori Smith for Section 810213B, dated July 11th, 2024. Case number 240836, City vs. Betty and David Hessinger and Harold Madero for the property located at 10027 North 52nd Street. The deadline for compliance was July 10th, 2024. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Doug Allen for Sections 8-10213B, 10-3B, 8-10213B, and 12-86113B, dated July 12th, 2024. Case number 241405, City vs. Mariah Solinsky and Dominique Solinsky for the property located at 325 Brentwood Drive. The deadline for compliance was July 10th, 2024. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Smith for Section 828A1, dated July 11th, 2024. Case number 24-1688, City vs. Lonnie Mark Hammonds for the property located at 414 Park Ridge Avenue. The deadline for compliance was July 10th, 2024. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for Section 10-3B, dated July 23rd, 2024. Case number 24-2003, City vs. Betty and David Hessinger and Harold Madero for the property located at 10027 North 52nd Street. The deadline for compliance was July 10th, 2024. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for Sections 81022 and 2291, dated July 11th, 2024. Case number 24-500083, City vs. Pagaya Smart Dressy F1 Fund Property Owner 2 LLC for the property located at 705 Aberdeen Circle. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Fire Inspector Becky Zarella for Sections 8-137E and 8-136C, dated July 16th, 2024. I do have two cases not on the agenda.
Okay.
Case number 080292, City vs. Christopher York for the property located at 7604 Leon Avenue. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Director Baroni for Sections 27.750M2 and 27.750M3, dated July 8, 2024. Case number 234683, City vs. Mariah Zielinski and Dominique Zielinski for the property located at 325 Brentwood Drive. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Smith for Section 10-34, dated August 5th, 2024.
Any other board action? Liens report, anything to report? Okay. Any new business? I have two items, if anybody else doesn't have anything. One, welcome back, Bill. If you have a strong stomach, he'll show you the x-rays. The other is, it's new business, I guess, for some of us, and it's sad news for all of us. This is Jen's last meeting. She will be moving on to bigger and better things. When is your last day here?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. So between now and then, we want to come by and say hi and thank her for all her hard work. Just when we got her trained, she takes off. Well, just when she got us trained, I guess. But we're definitely going to miss you.
I was starting to get emails replied to.
Progress.
It's making progress.
And he's smiling, but he's going to miss us too.
Yes.
So, but thank you for all you've done. We do appreciate it. Meetings run much smoother with you here.
Well, thank you.
And we definitely appreciate all you do for us. And good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be able to work with this board and with the code board. I truly enjoy it. It's one of the best parts of my job. And I will miss the city. So it was not an easy decision.
Thank you.
Thank
Say
you.
where she's going, you're going to?
I am moving to Swanee County. So we're going to be closer to family.
Okay.
So, but
It's cold up there.
that's all I
in the
have
winter.
right now. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, right now, anyway, yeah.
Right now, I would be too.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I am
absolutely.
just fed up with this heat.
Well, it's August in Florida.
If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? We are adjourned. Thank you all.